My name is Jake Frand. I'm the president of United Steelworkers Local 2660. It's the union that represents the hourly workforce at KeyTech. I spent just over half my life working either in or around the mining industry, with the last 17 and a half of those years being at KeyTech, doing everything from a shift mechanic in the pellet plant to my current job as mine electrician. I've spent the majority of my life in beautiful northern Minnesota, less the first few years, which were spent between Casson, Minnesota, and Jacksonville, Florida. Both of my parents were born and raised in Hibbing, but the downturn of the 1980s forced our family to leave the area in search of gainful, family-sustainable employment. The 1980s were pretty bleak in terms of the Iron Range economy. Many of the people I've worked with over the years remember it all too well, having to uproot their young families and leave their local support systems behind in search for greener pastures. The current economic state on the Iron Range, I'm fearful, is starting to look pretty reminiscent of the conditions our previous generations faced in the 80s. This time around, there are additional hurdles in our path beyond global oversupply and changing markets. 2 Iron Range mines are currently up against their own challenges today, and the sulfate discharge discussion will eventually come knocking at their doors too. KeyTech's water discharge permits being placed under the microscope to meet the 10 milligram per liter allowable level at an unrealistic cost and timeline of implementation could offset the slim advantages we have on foreign iron ore suppliers. And all this may be for naught, considering that no one can really tell us if Hay Lake and Hay Creek are reduced to this number 10, if it will create a more bountiful harvest of wild rice in Hay Lake. KeyTech historically has been known as somewhat of a swing operation, mainly because we're the smaller of the 2 U.S. steel facilities on the range. The $150 million investment in the DR plant was seen by our members as the potential to break away from the cyclicality of the mining steel industry. The hope surrounding this investment was to diversify ourselves from solely being an integral but replaceable part of the blast furnace supply chain. The inability of the NPCA to work with us on a standard that makes sense may jeopardize this newfound potential market as well as our traditional market, and the ripple effects will not stop at the gates of the mines. The community as a whole will feel the squeeze when more families are forced to relocate. The union workforce at KeyTech and all around the range are the number one proponent of the environment. We're deeply involved with the environmental stewardship in our day-to-day operations, which only makes sense because we live here, our families live here, and we all enjoy what the earth has to provide for us here, right in our backyard. And we lived with this for 140 years. 140 years we've been mining in northern Minnesota. As a representative of Local 2660 in Keewatin, Minnesota, I'm urging the NPCA to act now and work with the company, legislators, the union, nearby communities, and all the other involved parties in coming up with a resolution to this matter that is based on legitimate scientific study and common sense. Thank you for your time.